Atin.
Uh, Hello everyone, this is Atin Handuja, founder and CEO of Legal Foxes. Hope you all are safe. Today we have our session on the topic how to prepare for judicial services exam, and we have Mr. Ankit Avasti here. He is assistant professor of law at Hidutaya National Law University, Raipur. He is in charge of recruitment and coordination committee of undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you, Atin.
Now we can start the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Atin. I hope everyone is safe in this corona outbreak, and I just request all of you to follow the government norms as well as directives. Now, apart from this disclaimer in that respect, the important point is that one positive thing which came with this corona outbreak is the more we communicate, and specifically that we have felt, and enough reports also came in this field how we use technology. And I just you can say want to wish Atin for that respect, and want to thank you also for providing me opportunity to interact with all of you. Now, so when we talk about, you can say, current topic for discussion, that is how to prepare for judicial services examination. So this is going to be the major area for discussion for next, you can say, minutes. And after that, you people will get opportunity also to ask me the questions in that respect, and I will try to reply in that respect. So in that respect, the first question is that why we have to prepare for judicial services examination, that we can cover in 4 points. First of all, the point is dream, and everyone knows about that one. When we talk about the dream, the best part that I want to mention is the you can say author statement itself. With that only I would like to start the present session. As Paul Coelho, as he mentioned, that there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, and that is the fear of failure. So first of all, whensoever you prepare, and that is not only the statement that is applicable with respect to any competitive examination, but even you can say any step which you want to take in your life, whether that is the competitive examination or whether that is the you can say decision for that matter. The thing that you have to keep in mind is not the fear of failure, but you have to have courage to take that particular decision and work in that particular field. So when we talk about the judicial services examination, the important factor is that you must have that particular dream. Then only you have to prepare. Now this dream, it may because of your own, you can say, willingness to join this particular judicial profession, or it may be because in your own family, you can say other people, those who were there, they were already in the judicial field, or it may be that you are also the from legal profession, so that's why you are interested, or it may be, or it may not be. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So in that respect, the point that is known as dream is of your own, and that's why you are all supposed to work in that particular field. So in that respect, when you talk, it's not only the job, or it's not only the profession, but from service to society point of view, you have to think. Because practically speaking, when we talk about the legal profession, the environment or the trend or even the regime as a whole, if I have to say, before 80s was a little bit different. That much scope was not there in the field of legal profession, that everyone knows. The major area where you can say individuals are supposed to come was practice. And when you talk about the judicial services examinations also, then that much type of competitive or equal opportunities point of view were not there. The thing equal opportunity point of view, I'm saying from competitive environment point of view. So all these things, you can say, slowly changed after 90s, when more number of judges were required, and with the impact of the globalization also. So new, you can say, young lawyers started to come in this particular field. And that change also I observe with the change in the legal education system as a whole. That I will come later point of time. But before all these things, the important factor is service to society. Because when you talk about other profession, then in that one you get good, you can say, amount of salary, you get good amount of, you can say, exposure. But when you talk about the judicial services examination, these things are there, but more than that, there is always a responsibility, and responsibility, that is service to society. So first of all, you must have this question to yourself, whether you are ready to serve the society in that respect. Third point which I mentioned, respect in the society. Respect is not something which you are supposed to you can say demand. Respect in the society, because the responsibility that is attached with this profession, everyone is looking at you. And when you talk about the judiciary, there is general saying in that respect, that there is neither you can say purse nor power, it's only the trust which the judiciary has. And because of that particular trust only, everyone you can say respect towards the judicial officers, and that they have to fulfill the obligation that they have to fulfill on daily basis, and that is supposed to be reflected in terms of their judgment, their decisions. So in that respect only, the respect in the society, because of the high value, because of the high esteem, because of the higher position that is attached with their responsibility. And last point which I mentioned here is safe, secure, and powerful profession. So this is the point which is common with you can say every profession. But when you talk about the judicial services examination, here if you have this type of you can say a profession in mind, that whether I have to join the litigation, whether I have to join other, you can say, corporate practices. So in that field only this particular point comes, that safe and secure and powerful profession, as per my observation. Maybe you can say you people disagree with that one, but one of the finest profession in this field, where you are supposed to serve to the society also, where you are supposed to get respect through your act, through your judgment, through your constructive writing, that is supposed to be reflected in judgment. So that is only the judicial profession. So this is the why which I addressed. Now the next point in that respect is that there is no golden rule in this respect. Generally, people ask that what we have to do, what are the steps that we have to take, which book we have to refer. Our seniors, who can say, did this thing, whether we also have to follow the same pattern, whether the coachings are required or not required, up to what extent we are supposed to help. So in that respect only, I have mentioned this general statement, and that is applicable also in the field of all types of competitive examinations, that the golden rule is that there is no golden rule. So in that respect, what is required? These four points. First one, motivation. Second one is dedication. Third one is consistency. And last one, that is hard work. So first of all, the point, that is motivation. You have to feel motivated in that respect. And that motivation is not about the job. The motivation is from day-to-day activities point of view, day-to-day learning point of view, day-to-day awareness point of view. So you don't have to wait for the another person, that when you can say your father or your parents when talk to you that what you want to be in your life, or when they give you examples that he or she becomes so and so, then only you are supposed to feel motivated. But here the point is that you yourself have to feel motivated. You must have the dream, which I use the first word in the presentation, and you only have to work in that particular field. Other things like dedication. So dedication, obviously, you have to be honest towards yourself. You have to be dedicated towards the preparation, and even after joining also, you are supposed to be dedicated towards the profession. Consistency is so much crucial element when you talk about any of the profession, even the professionalism point of view. Consistency is one of the you can say firm pillar for success. So in that respect, consistency is required when you talk about the study. Consistency is required. The time duration which you have allocated to study for particular subjects in that particular point. So that is required not from the competitive examinations point of view pre-preparation, but consistency will more be required when you will clear this particular examination. And hard work. So obviously everyone knows that one, that hard work is a key to success. There is no way out. Like no one can give you any particular, you can say, shortcut or any formula by which you are going to crack any of the competitive examination. You can say since time immemorial, when you use the word itself, competition, it means there are others at the same point of time, when you try to just relax in your comfort zone, those who are there, those who are putting their efforts, those who are burning oil in the midnight, they are also in the field. So that you have to keep in mind every day, and that you have to put efforts. Then only you are supposed to clear any competitive examination. So you have to feel motivated, you have to be dedicated, you have to be consistent, and you have to do you can say a lot of hard work. There is no way out in that respect. So these are the golden rules. Generally we just read, generally we read in the interviews also, but we never try to follow the same in our life. When these four, you can say, key aspect we apply in our life, then we can achieve any you can say success. And again I repeat this, he is one of my favorite author, Paulo Coelho. Again I would like to mention his statement only, that when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So only the thing that is required is to think, only to have dream to achieve that thing. So in that respect only, I further mentioned few things to remember, that the thing that is required is patience. So generally it happens also, and I have seen also that when you talk about the you can say competitive examination, at the same point of time, your friends or others with whom you have got the education, they get job. Sometimes you feel frustrated also, that you can say your friend is getting this much salary, or they are getting a lot of success in their particular field, but still you are just preparing. Um, Most of the times you can say, I would like to say that your own relatives will ask you what you are doing, and you just have a simple answer that I am preparing. So in that respect, you don't have to mind. My important point is that you don't have to mind. You must have patience at least for 2 years. You have to be totally committed, you have to be totally dedicated, and after that you don't have to answer, your result will answer. So the patience that is required in this particular field. Then apart from that, I have mentioned extracurricular activities. What happens most of the time, that when we prepare for any competitive examination, we just try to focus on study. We try to study more and more and more. Now here the important point is that it's not only the study, a smart study that will help. And extracurricular activities which I mentioned, because like whatever the you can say game that you like, you can say you can play chess, you can play, you can say carom, or other types of activities you can do, writing, painting. So you have to be, you can say, train your brain not only from the study point of view, but extracurricular activities point of view, because studies shows, and it has been proved also, that as much as you will use your brain, that much the constructive results you will get. Then the point which I mentioned here is the role of marks at educational level. So maybe you are preparing or started to prepare, you can say after graduation level, maybe in the after 12th, if you are doing the integrated course, that I will deal the two ways in that respect after this slide. So all these things that you have to keep in mind, it's not the marks that you have obtained during your educational qualification level. Um, my suggestion is that you try to have, you can say, first standard that is good enough to tell also, that is good enough to reflect also, but that should not be that much, you can say, uh, dedicated enough that I want this marks, and due to that you have to compromise with other competitive examination practices which you have to follow side by side. So the thing that is required is harmonization in that respect. On one side, you have to achieve good marks also, because that is going to be reflected in your grade sheet. At the same point of time, if you are preparing, so you have to dedicate time for that respect also. So that is supposed to be in mind. And role of marks, if you say, even suppose hypothetically, if you will get 100 out of 100 in your intermediate or graduation level, that ipso facto is not going to give you job, practically speaking. So the thing that is required is to have a good record, and plus good record, you want job. So obviously you have to focus on that also, and at the same point of time you have to focus on competitive examinations also. So this is the point which I mentioned here, role of marks at education level. No one can deny, but that should not be also that much focus that you will miss your goal. And last point which I mentioned here is self-evaluation and continuous assessment. So when you talk about the self-evaluation and continuous assessment, this practice is started in the corporate houses also, or other you can say organizations also, that you don't have to wait that third party just check you, just evaluate you. You yourself have to self-evaluate your performance, and that should not be at the beginning level or the end level, but that should be the continuous assessment. That is the need of examination starting point of view. Like जब आप ये सोचेंगे कि मुझे जुडिशियल सर्विसेज के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है, उस समय भी आपको ये क्वेश्चन पूछना है. At that point of time also you have to ask this question to yourself, whether you are good enough, whether you are apt enough, whether you are appropriate enough to be the part of the judicial services or not. This thing you have to satisfy to yourself. Second question that you have to ask to yourself, that the commitment, the hard work, the consistency that is needed to prepare for the competitive examination, whether you can give this to that type of practices or the competition or not. So this is the question that you have to ask at the beginning itself. See, generally क्या होता है कि when you see that your friend is preparing for the competitive examination or someone cleared that any of the examination, then you also think for 1 day, for 2 days, for 1 week, for 1 month. Later point of time you think, nahi, I cannot give that much work, that much you can say patience I don't have. So my point is that one, before going, you can say to decide about that question after 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, why not you decide the question at the beginning itself when you have to prepare for the competitive examination. So ask this question at the beginning itself, or you can say that would be your commitment towards your competitive examination, that which will further lead you towards the success. So that is the one point. Second point is that continuous assessment. So you don't have to tell others that I am preparing for the competitive examination, and you don't have to justify that thing to others, but you have to justify to yourself that this is my plan, and accordingly I will clear this particular examination in the next you can say 1 year or 2 year. Like that depends on your own understanding, your own, you can say, commitment, your own consistency, and everyone is a best judge in own case. So next point that we have to talk here is the judicial system in India. See, the topic is how to prepare for the judicial services exam. So, but when you talk about the judicial system in India, that I mentioned here also in the name of this chart, that we follow the integrated judicial system. In that one, the apex one is the Union Judiciary, that is the Supreme Court of India. Then the high courts come. Then the subordinate courts, and subordinate courts that you can understand on the basis of the nature of the cases which they deal. So they are basically from the civil point of view, they are from criminal point of view, they are from revenue point of view. Now here only I want to tell you that there is no examination, there is no competitive examination by which you are going to get directly entered in Union Judiciary level, in Supreme Court of India, or there is no competitive examination by which you are going to enter directly in the High Court. So that is basically given through the Constitution of India, Article number 124 that talks about the Supreme Court of India, Article number 217 of the Constitution of India that talks about the High Court. So in short, I want to say that in the higher judiciary, if I say Supreme Court of India and the High Courts, these are the higher courts or the Court of Records. Here you cannot directly enter through any of the competitive examination. Reason being, they are the appellate courts also, and here you can say a lot of experience that is required in this particular field. That's why after a lot of experience as a advocate, as a practicing lawyer, or as a law officer, you can say provisions are there by which you are supposed to enter. Only the exception that is given in the article number 124, that is you are the eminent jurist, if that is you can say observe as per the provisions of the Constitution of India, but till date it has not applied in Indian context. So there is no point of having discussion over the same. Now, when you're talking about the judicial services examination, then it comes from subordinate courts level. Now, subordinate courts level, if you talk, there are two types of examination that we will come to know later point of time, but their entry is on the basis of the nature. So civil, you can say there civil courts are. If you talk about the criminal courts are there. Revenue, then revenue courts are there. Revenue courts, if you talk separate examination which is there, Nayab Tahsildar level, accordingly you are supposed to get progress. So that's altogether separate, you can say, examination. My core area of discussion would be here from civil as well as the criminal jurisdiction point of view. Generally, which you know as you can say magistrate level examination. So next point, that is the two ways. Now here you are looking towards this one, two ways. These two ways are there. If you talk about the study point of view, like suppose you are most of you I think can say going to clear the intermediate examination and going to think, or maybe you can solidly decide it, okay, I'm going to this particular field, that's why you have joined this particular webinar. So accordingly, and that is the change after 90s only, which I was talking earlier. So, but still, there are two ways by which anyone is supposed to get the law degree. One, that is after graduation, that is of 3-year course, LLB, and second one, that is the integrated law course, that is known as you can say BLLB honors course also, BCom LLB honors course also, BBLLB, and other types of, you can say, streams are there, but more or less that is a combination of law with other streams. So that's why that is known as integrated. So that is after 12th examination. The positive point is that one, with the inception of integrated courses, 1 year saved. I will explain this thing. Like if you do law after graduation, then 3 years that you have to give minimum. In graduation, after that one, 3 years that you have to give in the completion of LLB. So total 6 years that you have to give. After 6 years only you are going to get degree, and after that only you are going to be eligible for the competitive examination that I will talk. But when you talk about the integrated law courses, that may be of BLLB, BCom LLB, BBLLB, that will depend on your interest, which particular course you want to do, and in which university or the college you want to do. So if you do that one after 12th only, then in a 5 years only you will get this particular integrated course, or you can say honors degree. So whatever you do from degree point of view, both have equal weightage, equal sanctity and the validity, and you are known as law graduate. So graduation point of view, two ways are there. One, after graduation you are supposed to do. Second one, just after inter you are supposed to do. So whatever the degree that you have in that respect, two examinations that we have to talk. First one, that is subordinate, or that is also known as lower judicial services examination, and second one is higher judicial services examination. So when we talk about the higher judicial services examination, I will deal later point of time. In short, major discussion would be subordinate or lower judicial services examination. Reason being, higher judicial services examination, if I say in short, it is known as HJS. There again, the experience that is required is of minimum of 7 years continuous practice. After that only you are eligible to be, you can say, appear for the HJS examination. But when you talk about the subordinate or lower judicial services examination, in that one, after just graduation, law graduate, I mean to say, or you are entitled to be enrolled as advocate, then you can just complete examination and you can become the, you can say, magistrate. That I will deal. Second slide. So before that, one important question is that when you have to start the preparation of this subordinate or lower judicial services examination. So if you are doing, and there is no hard and fast formula in that respect, that is as per my, you can say in here, that when you talk about 3-year course, in a second year only, you have to start in a full-fledged manner about the completion. So you have complete 2 years in your hand, and after you can say at the same point of time, after clearing your LLB course, you may be, you can say in that time, you may be in a position to clear the competitive examination at the same point of time. And we talk about the 5-year course, after the 3rd year itself, you have to give your full-fledged time in the competitive examination. Plus, at the same point of time, you have to ensure that you ensure good marks in your graduation level as well. So, in the case of 3 year, from 2nd year onwards, you have to start preparation, and in the case of 5 years, from 3rd year onwards, you have to start preparation without compromising with your regular course. That is my word of caution. So, we will deal with this thing. The first point I mentioned here, that is a subordinate or lower judicial services examination. These are conducted by state public services, you can say commission, like I have mentioned example point of view, UP, Uttar Pradesh, judicial service, civil judge, the complete nomenclature by which this exam notification comes. So for example point of view, I have given UP, judicial service, civil judge, junior division examination, or that is also known as PCSJ, civil judge recruitment, or Delhi, if I talk, Delhi Judicial Service examination. In the similar manner, as I mentioned, state public service commissions are empowered to conduct examination. That differ from state to state. Even the syllabus also differ, marks also differ. But overall understanding point of view, we are talking here. So if you clear this particular subordinate or lower judicial services examination, you will be appointed as civil judge, junior division, and the power of the judicial magistrate, second class, you will be empowered. That's why that is known as magistrate examination. but proper nomenclature is civil judge junior division, and the examination that I mentioned here. So first of all, we talk about the age limit in that respect. With the applicable reservation, minimum age is 21 in some notifications that I have read, and some notification that is 22. Maximum age, if I talk, in some notification I read that is 32. In some notification I read that is as 35. State to state, as I mentioned, State Public Service Commission. But on an average, you see this one minimum age is 21 year age, should not be less than 21 year of age, and should not be more than 35 you can say year of age. So minimum age 21, maximum is 35, in which duration you are eligible to appear in this particular competitive examination. And when I talk about the educational qualification, then must be a Bachelor of Law, as I mentioned in the beginning itself, law graduate. So whether you have done 3-year law course or you have done 5-year law course, you are eligible, or you must be you can say entitled to be enrolled as advocate. So that comes in the purview of the Advocates Act 1961. Here, that is not the part. Only from competitive examination point of view, you have to think about clearing your graduation, law graduation, and you are entitled to appear as this competitor. So this is the educational qualification, must have the law graduate degree. And second qualification is from age limit point of view, should not be less than 21 year of age and should not be more than 35 year of age with applicable reservation. So if you have cleared these two, you can say elements, then obviously you are entitled to appear in the competitive examination, and after clearing examination, you will be the civil judge, junior division. So when we talk about the selection process and syllabus, generally you can say this is the trend in all of the competitive examination, 3 stages: preliminary examination, mains examination, and interview. So I have mentioned here also, if you talk about the preliminary, so it's only the qualifying exam. You have to qualify this thing, and then only you are supposed to be appear in the main examination. Generally, 3 times, like suppose the posts are 100, then 300 are supposed to appear in the main examination. So that is generally. So preliminary, it's a qualifying examination, and multiple choice questions are asked, and negative marking are also you can say there. So you have to be very particular about that one. Main examination after that one, it's of descriptive, and interview that don't mind marks, because that are also changed from state to state, you can say commission. So you just see the pattern. So first of all, the preliminary examination that you have to appear, that is of you can say multiple choice question. After that one, main examination, that is of descriptive one, and last one, that is of interview. So this idea point of view I have mentioned here. Basically, I followed the UP Judicial Service Examination here pattern. So if you talk about the objective one, that is a preliminary one. So 2 papers are there. Paper 1 that talks about the general knowledge of 2 hours and 150 marks are there. And when you talk about the part 2, it talks about the law, 2 hours and 300 marks with a negative marking. Then apart from that, we talk about the mains examination I have mentioned, total 5 papers. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, paper 5. Paper 1 deals with general knowledge, 3 hours, 200 marks. Language then, 3 hours, 200 marks. Then law 1 that deals with the substantive law, 3 hours, 200 marks. Law 2 that talks about the procedure and evidence, 3 hours, 200 marks. And last one, that is law 3, that is penal, revenue and local laws. That is also of 3 hours, 200 marks for that one. It's a complete, you can say, syllabus that I followed. If you can see general knowledge, if you talk, preliminary examination, history of India, Indian culture, geography of India, Indian polity, current national issues. In this manner you have to. Part 2, if you talk, then law regarding, you can say, subject are there. Similar to that one, syllabus for the main examination, I have mentioned 5 paper. Paper 1 deal with the general knowledge. Paper 2, if you talk, I have mentioned here, like essay to be written in English precise writing, translation of passage from Hindi to English, translation of passage from English to Hindi. So this would be there. Then substantive law, procedural law, as well as penal, revenue and local laws regarding question will come. So this is the, you can say, syllabus with respect to the preliminary and main examination, and after that one, the interview that you have to face if you will clear main examination. Now, when you talk about the higher judicial services examination, again, it's conducted by the state public services only, as I mentioned in the name of lower judiciary or the subordinate judiciary. Now here, if you will clear this examination, then you will be appointed as additional district and sessions judge. So eligibility criteria, if I have to talk, then again the two, age limit and educational qualification plus experience that I have written here. Age limit is that minimum 35 and maximum 45. Should not be less than 35 year and should not be more than 45 year. And educational qualification, I have mentioned here, not less than 7 years continuous practice as an advocate. So in that respect only, I have mentioned in the beginning itself that the experience that is needed, that is required to be followed by the district judge, then only you are competent enough to even to fill the form and appear in the competitive examination. And pattern, if I take, it's similar to the you can say subordinate and the lower judicial service examination, same preliminary, then means, then interview. Now here, two more slides are there, which I try to summarize. First of all, points to be remembered is that your own notes. Generally, that is in our mind that now that is the IT field, enough you can say notes or the online notes which are available there, enough books are there, enough materials are there, enough coaching classes are there. But I recommend you must have your own notes, and notes means handwritten notes, because as much you will make notes, that much will go in your brain that you can retain for the computer examination. And always remember.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. This meeting will end in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we can shift to second link after 3 minutes. That is on 5:35. 5:35, yeah.
So I will continue.
Yes,
this
sir.
thing
Please
now.
continue.
Okay. So points to be followed in that respect, that you must have your own notes. You have to prepare own notes, and this practice you have to start at the graduation level itself, or when you will appear in your you can say examination. At that point of time, this practice will help you. Second thing, you must be the master of Bear Act. Now, those who don't know the Bear Act, that I want to tell here, that when you do the law degree, there the Bear Act, the word that came, that simply means when the law came into picture, the bare provisions which have the you can say force of the law are known as Bear Acts. Later point of time, you can say authors or the commentators you can say do additions in that one. Apart from that one, the case law, as and when decided by the courts, they are also added in that one. But when we talk about the Bear Act, it's simply the bare provisions. So you must be the master. And when you talk about the preliminary examination, their Bear Acts always play a crucial role. Even sometimes the questions are directly connected with bare provisions only. So apart from that one, another point that you have to remember, and that is always you can say played crucial role in the field of the examination, is previous year question papers. You have to go through the previous year question papers. You have to practice for the same one. You have to prepare for the MCQ questions that I have mentioned. You have to prepare for the mains examination, and for that you have to refer last at least 5-year question papers. Apart from that one, contemporary current affairs awareness, that is the you can say highly needed in the competitive examination. Daily you have to read a newspaper, daily you have to read the current you can say judgment, you have to trace the development of the law, because all these things are going to help you in the competitive examination, plus after clearing competitive examination at the same point of time. Because the judiciary is such a field where your work will not end, or even if I say the legal profession is such a profession where your work will not come to an end, and that's why I mentioned here that principle of equivalence for subject.
Sir, can you please move to second link?
Yeah.
Deshri, can you please end this meeting?